as we finished JoJo Season 1, which is Part 1 and Part 2, let's do a quick character tier list. Now, I'm sure it's not going to have every character, but I think this has a good enough list of characters to go off by. We're going to use our usual standard of ratings, right, that we do our anime tier list stuff. We got peak, great, good, mid, and poo-poo. I don't think I'm going to place any character on peak immediately. The highest rating that I'll place them will probably be at great, and at the end of the video, I'll recalibrate and adjust who I think should stand above all else. First up, just gonna say, Wamuu goes into peak. I don't care. I know I just said that these characters shouldn't go to a peak, but Wamuu, what a compelling antagonist. Bro was the pillar, man. I appreciated Wamuu more than AC/DC and Cars. This character is something else. Divine Sandstorm soundtrack goes so fucking hard. His powers are cool. He's jacked, he's ripped. But more than that, what do I love about him? The warrior's honor. He was different. He was not focused on the objective goal of Redstone of Asia. He was a servant of AC/DC and Cars. Yet he had this other purpose. That all those years that he lived, what was it? Maybe it was to meet Joseph at the end. His battle against Caesar, man, was something fucking else. My God. He was a bit of a fraud at the end, right? In that battle, because Caesar should have won. But in that one moment where a shadow was casted, Wamuu's warrior instincts kicked in and he locked in, hit the dubstep, Divine Sandstorm. And goddamn, after that, Caesar's monologue about Zeppeli's family and the Joestars and how they sacrificed and how Wamuu could never understand. His final Hamon and the blood bubble that he made, stealing that lip ring, the antidote for Joseph, bro. And Wamuu to acknowledge it. Wamuu's like, nope, you know what? You're a proud warrior of Hamon. Like all these years that I've, fought, like you definitely stand above the else. And you will have a special place in my heart. I will never forget you. Fuck. Went so hard. And then obviously the battle against Joseph too. The way that, he rest in peace and Joseph had gave him the blood. And Wamuu just, the more I think about this character, the more I realize, fuck, I'm so glad he was an antagonist that I just love to support, even though he's on the other side. So good. All right. Another character, Dario Brando. This guy's trash. Fucking terrible dad, terrible husband. He just sucks. This dude basically created Dio because he was such a terrible dad. All I know is that he was a looter. He immediately pulls up this. How the hell did he bag his wife? That blows my mind. Fucking trash character. Fuck you. Lisa. So she's sexy. She's hot. But if you just take care of your boner for a second and think about her contributions, she's honestly quite the fraudulent character. This isn't because I hate Lisa, but because I love her character and wanted more of her. The amount of aura farmed is not proportionate to her contributions. If you really think about it, did she even train Caesar and Joseph? Not from what I saw. Maybe she taught Caesar back in the past, but my God, she brings her over to her Diddy Island, and drowns us in baby oil and forces us to climb the pillar. But even then, Caesar's the one that's coaching Joseph there on how to utilize Hamon. Just the tips. Beyond that, Loggins and Messina are the ones that train Joseph and Caesar. But Lisa's doing nothing but just fucking farming aura and showing ass, and I love that. But at the same time, goddamn, dude, do something. She fights, and her most significant battle is against that random ass fucking dude when we were about to approach Cars and Wamuu after the battle against Caesar, right? And that was a nothing burger. And then after that, she just gets done dirty by Cars and it's over. Her backstory was compelling, but again, this character I feel like should have done way more. She was elegant, she was beautiful, but the contributions, I can't really say that she was really a good character. No, just think about it, right? If you really think about her significance in the story, it's just to kind of exist as oh, I was secretly your mom, Joseph. And that's it. And she was sexy. Sucks, bro. Sucks. Danny! To put a dog over a woman like that is kind of crazy, huh? But here's the thing. Danny didn't do anything. Danny had no purpose. Danny was simply a pet that got sacrificed. So maybe Danny should be here. Basically the idea is, Lisa, there's expectations on you as the character. No one cared about Danny, and Danny got done dirty. And because of that, I sympathize and want to kind of glaze Danny. You know what I mean? Danny really didn't do anything though. He was simply a prop. He just got used to be abused and sacrificed for Jonathan, right? What a fucked up thing Dio did. Sucks. Can't really say he's a good character though. He's a good boy. Let's see. Let's just go in order. Instead of going back and forth to part 1 and part 2, let's just go in order. Part 1 stuff. Bruford, I think, was a great character. I think Bruford was one of the beginnings of what I saw. That, you know, basically Bruford walks so Wamu could run. It kind of, you know, like it's that same honor. It's that same level of respect as warriors. His powers are kind of funny when he didn't like show his hands and he's jumping at Jojo and Jojo's like, oh my god, where's he gonna come from? Pluck was also epic. He was a character that only showed up for like an episode or 2, but the impact that he had on me and the honorable death that he had, and man, the way that he didn't harm Jonathan at the end because he knew, chills. Love those kind of characters. And then in the other hand, where is this guy? Yeah, Tarkus. Tarkus kind of trash. Tarkus, like, I don't know. Like, he doesn't really, like, he is not a brute at all. He's just a brute and he's there to fuck shit up. He's strong and he won a lot of those death battles. He is the reason why Zeppeli dies. But again, like, it's not the same, right? You can't compare Wamu and this. This is a totally different sacrifice. Tarkus would have never acknowledged, you know, Wille Zeppeli. He was mocking him. Tarkus just was a brute. He was big. He was a monster. He was a threat. He did his job. He's a goon. Speedwagon of Phantom Blood. Absolutely to the top. Absolutely. This dude is the GOAT. Bro pulls up and throws his hat and does tricks with it and immediately is then subservient to the Joestar family. One night and he's like, oh my god, you're a gentleman of all gentlemen. I think that his narration and commentary was phenomenal. Speedwagon, great character. Let's talk about the man himself, Jonathan Joestar. Where is he? Oh, dad? Fuck you, dad. Jonathan's dad can rot in hell with Dario Brando. I don't care. Now, Jonathan's dad did have a significance in his sacrifice, right? He basically decided to take a hit for it. And he even acknowledged that he was too, you know, he had flaws. But my god, bro, this guy is retarded. He's actually so stupid. It's actually crazy how ignorant he was. And Dio could get away with everything. I understand for the story to progress, it had to be like that. But goddamn, this father pissed me the fuck off. Both these dads can rot in hell. Where's Jonathan? Jonathan, there you are. Jonathan Joestar, I think, is a good character. I don't really feel a strong way for him. I didn't like how he was so naive in the way that he was a gentleman, but at the same time, that's his nature. He's a kind soul and he was too good for this world, and that's why he died. He was strong, he was splendid, he was magnificent, he was a Giga Chad, but at the same time, like, sometimes he was too naive. I think that he's a good, solid character that I personally didn't fuck with because of his traits. Joseph is different. So Jonathan, I think, is just a good character. Poco. Where's Poco? Smokey. Poco. Poco is, let's think about Poco. Poco had a great moment. Poco had a great moment when he basically sacrificed himself, didn't die, but basically, you know, crawled in and he showed guts. He was a brave kid. I'd say he's a good character. Maybe he's mid, right? Maybe he's like here, but I think Poco contributed more than Lisa. Like, Lisa just got shanked out of nowhere. Poco at least kind of put in some work. He was a brave kid. He did it for his sister. He had a great flashback, and I don't know, he was an impactful character. His contributions were short, but he also like slapped his ass on Tarkus too. He spanked his ass. I think Poco should be with Jonathan. He was a brave kid. Next up, Dio in Phantom Blood. He was great. He was great. If not Dio, I think, again, listen. Yeah, he's a fucking monster. He's vile, but Uri is ridiculous. Goodbye, JoJo! You know, those lines, or even like the freeze attacks, and like how he would turn people into chimeras. Like, this guy is a fucking freak. He is a monster. He is menacing, and he refuses to die. And I respect that. I love how this dude will do anything for the sake of his goals. And even at the end, right? Phantom Blood, what happens? He had a second casket ready. Full Dio. And then Stardust Crusaders. He takes Jonathan's body. I think he's a great character. I actually enjoyed Dio definitely more than Jonathan. Dio created us way more content. He was hyped. He was just content fiend, bro. He was also very interesting with the monologues of like why he doesn't like dogs, right? And also how he was like turning into his dad. There's like a lot of very interesting psychology happening in like the character of Dio and his struggle of like remaining a human but realizing that pride is his fault. Then he transcends human and he becomes a vampire. But then now he's kind of getting cocky and the pride is still his fault, but this time it's a bit different because he's not a human and he can't really use that justification. Anyways, I think he's a great villain. Let's see. Any other character? Toyoji. Okay, Chinaman. Listen, Lisa wishes she could be Chinaman. This character is hauling ass. It's actually crazy how much he is there clutching for a deal. It's fucking insane. Nobody expected anything from him. He's just a racist caricature like an Asian person back in the day. But my God, he had aura. He fucked shit up. He just was a menace. He was there to save Dio at every single time. Bro, Wang Chang. Listen, I know it's ridiculous to put him up here, but you gotta realize most of my ratings are fucking meme tier. This dude fucking hauled ass. Anyone else? Wille Zeppeli. Hey baby. Maybe here. Wille Zeppeli also had his sacrifice. I feel like it was off-putting because he immediately got cold, but then his monologue about the sacrifice was really compelling. This dude abandoned his entire family to go train Hamon shit and then met Jonathan, and Jonathan became his new son. Wille Zeppeli was an aura farmer. He had a lot of ridiculous analogies. He's a great character. I think that his contributions were insane. He had a great sacrifice. He was impactful. Yeah, I think he was solid. Maybe he should be here though. Maybe, I don't know. Again, it has to do with like these ratings. Again, I talk about contributions, but it's also like my own personal like bias and like love for these characters. I think Wille Zeppeli should be with Jonathan together here. Straizo. Straizo kind of mid. I don't know. Straizo didn't really do much. He kind of was just aura farm with this like funny, like cool shampoo hair. He's more important than part 2, I guess. Right? Dio wannabe, maybe. I don't know. I don't really have a strong feeling for him. He just kind of meh. And then his partner. Oh, Jack the Ripper. I feel like Jack the Ripper is also kind of just like mid. You know? Like he was not too menacing of it. It was wacky. Like the way that he came out of the horse was like, what the fuck? Right? That shit was insane. It was shocking, but other than that, not very memorable villain, nor was he that crazy. It was just like shocking. It was just shocking. Another character from Phantom, this guy. Tom Petty. I don't know. He's like important for a plot as like the master of like the Hamona Tibetan monk shit, but other than that, like what does he really do? I don't know. Like Tom Petty, I feel like is just kind of there as a master. His contributions, I don't even know what much he did. I don't know. The more I think about Tom Petty, like was he that important, or was he just like a plot point, you know, for Wille Zeppeli and other people to kind of just like come forth with where he got their Hamon? He was useless. He was more useless than Lisa. But like Tom Petty didn't really have like any sort of great. I don't know. Was I expecting a lot from the Hamon master? I guess you would because of the nature of him being the master of the Hamon. Yet he's an old man too, so I guess like he's kind of washed. What else is there? Erina. So Erina, I think was a great character. Straight up. I think Erina, the way that she wiped her mouth when Dio kissed her, that was impactful. Erina didn't have that many scenes, yet when she showed up, you could see the loyalty, the honor that she had for Jonathan, and the love, and her sacrifice. It was heartfelt. I think that she was a concise and very impactful character and did not feel mid. She was great. Erina, the more I think about from Phantom Blood, she was a solid, just exceptional character. Perfect partner for Jonathan. Let's see. These are part 2 characters now. Have I got everyone? Dyer? To the top. You fell for it! Thunder Cross Split Attack! Yo, Thunder Cross Split Attack is fucking crazy. This character, bro, his screen time is like nothing. But the impact that he had, and not only just Thunder Cross Split Attack, one of the most iconic meme lines in JoJo Part 1, when he inflicted damage onto Dio for the first time. His head chopped off. It's on a bouquet of fucking roses, and he spits a fucking flower with Hamon, and it says, huh, looks like even gods can bleed. That's not what he said, but it was something like that, right? Dude, it was so hype. He's actually the hype master. I love Thundercross Split Attack. His contributions were epic, hype, funny. Just loved it. Fucking loved it. And I feel like Dyer, again, just to kind of contrast with Lisa, Dyer is a character that you don't expect anything of. He's just like a new guy that pulls up and he's kind of goofy. So again, you don't expect much. And then you see him go fucking balls to the walls with Dio and you're like, oh my fucking god. And that again is why I'm glazing him more. And then you have a character like Lisa where the precedence is set, the expectations are set, and the standards are so high. And on top of that, she underperforms, right? That's why I'm very critical of Lisa. Let's get a part 2 characters now. AC/DC mid. AC/DC is the worst pillar, man. Now, there were some good moments with him and Joseph talking about, you know, the art of war and being like a mental, like, you know, like he's basically one of those like mind game guys. And his crying was ridiculous, but I don't know. This guy, the way that he was portrayed being Wamu's master, but that was it. I don't know. I think that he's not that good of a villain. He was not as impactful as Wamu or even Cars. He's just kind of mid. A lot of gay lines though. Yeah, there's a lot of zesty ass lines that was funny though. But again, AC/DC, I don't know. I just think it's kind of meh. He's a Tarkus at part 2. I could see where you're coming from. I could see that. But he wasn't a terrible character. It's just that he wasn't that just amazing to me. Why is there 2 separate characters here, bro? Why are there 2 Josephs? All right, Tequila Joseph. All right, cross-dressing Joseph. Same meme tier, right? All right. We'll make a fucking extra tier. All right, here, fuck. We'll add another tier, okay? And here. Add a row above. Meme. Okay. Oh shit. Meme tier. These 2 can go up there, okay? it's just cross-dressing Joseph, Tequila Joseph, whatever, right? It's just like, whatever. I don't really care. It's just cross-dressing Joseph. George, I feel like we gotta put him with Lisa, right? So, George is a character that's already dead and is only shown through the flashbacks. But let's think about this. George, even in the flashbacks, what did he do? He didn't even have Hamon. He was one of the best pilots ever. And not only that, he also uncovered the truth of the secret zombie vampire dude that was infiltrating the British Air Forces. Yo, maybe he's actually a great character. Shit, maybe his contribution is better than fucking Lisa. The more I think about it, it's like, wait a minute, wait. Nah. Is he better than Willie Zeppelin? No. I'd put George here. George better than Poco. I don't know. The more I think about his contribution, his significance, the story, and the flashback, he was legit. He was a regular civilian that did not have any Hamon shit and was able to uncover all the training. He's a great pilot. I don't know. He's kind of hyped the more I think about it. Santana. Santana. above AC/DC. Was he mid though? No. Santana was pretty hype. Santana was actually really fucking hype. He was not like, you know, the other Pillarmen, but what he did in the menacing aura that he portrayed during like the Stroheim arc, right? He was great. He was great. His powers are crazy. And he was like, basically, Santana enabled, you know, Stroheim and Joseph to pop off. That's what I'm trying to say. He was also very menacing, right? Yeah, first impression of what the Pillarmen are like. He was pretty hype. Crazy shit going on with them going into people's bodies. Yeah, I think he was a good villain. I think he was better than AC/DC, straight up. The more I think about it, because again, why? Because of the standard that AC/DC was placed at. The more I think about these ratings, the more I realize there are characters where you don't expect anything and they just kind of pop off. But those characters that are placed on a pedestal, like Wamu and, sorry, it's AC/DC and Lisa, and they don't really do that much, and you're like, meh, I don't know. Let's talk about, not Poco, Smokey. Smokey and Poco, let's see. Were they equal contributions? Smokey wristed and ran with Joseph. Smokey was just kind of like, I feel like Poco hauled more ass for than Smokey. Cause like Smokey didn't really have like that sacrifice moment that Poco. I say Poco was better. You know what I mean? The more I think about it, the more I realize that like Poco actually like put his skin in the game and risked his life and went into the dungeon. Smokey was just kind of present, moral support, just kind of there with Speedwagon, just kind of just hanging around. He had a pretty cool moment at the end though, of like, you know, he became a mayor, he went to Polysite, he became the first black mayor, right? Sure, that's kind of cool, but I feel like I would rate Poco higher than Smokey simply based on the fact that Poco was, but here's the thing too. But you could argue, bro, he was getting chased by cars. Are you really going to be placing the same level of danger of Poco and Smokey? Of Poco going into, you know, the dungeon with Tarkus versus cars? But then you have to also think, right? Was Poco really in that danger? Sorry, was Smokey really under that danger? He was simply running along with Joseph and Cars was chasing, but at the same time, I feel like, yeah, I recognize Cars is more dangerous, yet I don't think Cars was really going for him. But Tarkus was different, and Poco really put his life on the line there for his sister and his own honor. I'm still gonna put Poco over Smokey just off of that difference. Granny Edina. She had aura. Granny Edina, I feel like, is a character that I like Phantom Blood Edina more. That was more impactful. Grandma Edina was just kind of chilling and she's kind of aura farming as like a mob boss. She does look like she runs New York. She does. She had a peaceful death at the end, surrounded by her family and loved ones. She's great. She's a good character. Doesn't do crazy. Susie Q is cute. Again, why am I putting Susie Q above Lisa? Was Susie Q that great of a character? Good of a character? She wasn't. She just fan service here and there and just kind of funny and just I would put her here with Lisa. Again, AC/DC being this low is because of the disappointment and the expectations. Susie Q didn't really have any expectations, nor did she really deliver on anything really crazy. She was just kind of cute and, you know, just got rizzed by Joseph. Yeah. Speedwagon of Battle Tendency. I would say he was not as good as Phantom Blood Speedwagon. He had a lot of moments though. Like, of course, Stroheim stepped up in place, but I would place it here. He's still an OG. He still was fucking there. Yo, why is Edina above Speed? Why is Edina above this high? What the fuck? The more I look at this tier list, the more I realize what the fuck is going on. I put it like here. I think that Speedwagon was solid. I prefer Phantom Bliss Speedwagon because he obviously had more life and energy compared to old Speedwagon. But even then, Speedwagon, dude, he was popping the fuck off for cars in the ultimate life form. God fucking damn, the Clays is crazy. Bro's a G, and he remains single till the bitter end. Thank you, Speedwagon, for your contributions. What the hell is this? Is this Speedwagon with Hamon? Who the fuck is this character? It's old Strazo? Mid. I guess this Strazo was more fun though because he kind of stepped up and became an antagonist, and there was some fun shit happening with Joseph, but not too really. I don't know. Part 2 Strazo was like an antagonist, and he wanted eternal youth, and he basically crashed out and became a vampire. He's all right. He's more interesting than Part 1 Strazo though. Cars. It's tricky. So, was he really on that like great status? Cars was pretty interesting in the way that he respected like life itself, but fucking hated humans. He wanted to achieve, you know, the ultimate life form no matter what cost. He didn't really have any morals or ethics, and he backstabbed Lisa. It is what it is. He was a pretty menacing antagonist. He did have a lot of aura. His blades were cool. His flexing and posing was insane with the way that he lifted his loincloth. Yeah, you know what? I'll put him up there. Yeah, I will put Cars up there. Like, I don't really, again, Wamu is still my favorite, but again, Cars leagues above of AC/DC. Yeah, I think I feel fine putting Cars here for now. Caesar, great character. Great character that I would put above Cars, above Dio, perhaps even here beside Wamu. So the idea, so his peak, again, his monologue and his sacrifice working off of Wamu was so insane. What an amazing fucking moment it was. Truly one of the best character deaths I've seen in anime. Like, I'll die on that hill. The production value might not have been amazing, but the soundtrack and the direction of that scene was fucking magnificent. The opera was just something else. It was just so extra and dramatic. Caesar, aside from that sacrifice, he was a great friend, a great brother. He did crash out at the end and it felt kind of forced. But you know what? I'll put him peak. I'll put him peak. As fleeting and splendid as a bubble, he was. I love the bubble statements. His power was zesty, but you know what? I'll put Caesar up there. Joseph is definitely my favorite JoJo. He's definitely not a Jonathan, and I love him for that. I love how different he was and how cunning, and you know, it's not as if he was a bad fighter, but clearly he's different, right? He's more akin to Silver Tongue, talking his way out, mind games, lying, deceit, cunningness, strategy. I love that. And I kind of see myself, a bit of me in Joseph, and that's why I love this version of JoJo. I love also he's extending into part 3 and part 4 too. JoJo's gonna give me so much more content. And my fucking god. Stroheim! The Nazi cyborg actually is my favorite character, dude. This guy's unfucking real. Talk about contributions. There is nobody that's been putting in more work than my goat Stroheim. Yes, he is a Nazi. Let's acknowledge that. Nazis are bad. Yes. Holocaust, terrible. Yes, I get it. Anti-Semitism, bad. This is a lukewarm take. But this is not the real world. This is a work of fiction. And the way that this Nazi was portrayed, it was just showcasing the best parts of him. What is that? The proud German. His respect and responsibility as a proud German for the fatherland. The way that he sacrificed himself without hesitation versus Santana. Are you serious, bro? What the fuck? And he quoted that, you know, the historian guy too. Oh god. And then he comes back. And then he comes back to help Joseph fight against Cars. And he gets his fucking torso cut in half again. And then he comes back with the fucking UV ray flashlights, oh, you know, collab with Speedwagon and save Joseph again. And then he comes back on the fucking plane and saves Joseph at the cost of his body. And then he dies in World War II. I think it's Russia, right? It is what it is. In the cold of the, you know, of Russian winter, bro. I think he passes away. Bro, Stroheim was him. His contributions, his aura, everything about this character, the voice acting, the memes. Fuck, what an amazing character. I love him. I love him so fucking much. And that is how I would rate this tier. Now, let's recalibrate, right? Let's recalibrate. Are there other characters that should move up or down? Okay, let's be really, really harsh here, okay? So this is like a, I don't know, just like rough draft tier list. If I wanted to be really fucking mean, dude, maybe I'd like put these two down here. Like, who the fuck are they really? Right? I don't know. It's who the fuck are they really? I feel like, other than that, should anyone go up? Should anyone be in that peak tier along with these goats? I'd be willing to put Speedwagon up there. I would. I'd be willing to put both Speedwagons up there. Is there any character that would promote up from good? I would put Willie Zeppeli and Jonathan up there. I would. I would also put Dio up here. I think Dio was a lot of fun. I think Dio was a lot of fun. You know what? I think Dio should go up there too. I'd be perfectly happy with these characters being, you know, in my peak tier. Should anyone go from good to great? No, I think these characters are solid here. Should anyone be promoted? Maybe Lisa should be. Maybe I'll put Lisa up here with, you know, with George instead. I kind of feel bad because Lisa is a prominent character. It's just that, bam, her contributions kind of suck. Danny is also gonna go in meme tier. I don't know why, because he's a dog. Danny's up there. What else? Should anyone go down? Tom Petty, he's kind of fucking ass. Nah, they're mid. AC/DC, should he remain this bottom tier though? Maybe that's too harsh. Maybe AC/DC should kind of go up. Because he did kind of have its moments here and there during the fight. It's not like he was a terrible character. It's just that in comparison to Cars and Wamu, he just felt very off. I have no hard feelings for Suzuki. It's just that who the hell really is she? She's kind of chilling, right? I think I'm happy with this. I think that I am happy with this tier list. Maybe I'll put that up top here instead. And you can rot in. I think that Tarkus above Jack the Ripper. Yeah. Something like that. Maybe... Is that good enough? I feel like old Strayzo was kind of more fun than Suzy Q. Part 2 Strayzo, right? Because of kind of he pulled up and he kind of was a villain for a bit. Also created the crazy, you know, Tom Gun moment. Should any character be elevated to great from this status? No. I feel like Santana on the same tier as, you know, Cars is crazy. If I were to put Santana up, then Cars would have to go. I think Santana is chilling at the top of good. I would honestly put, and if I were to rate them, I would put Wamu at the top, Cars second, Santana third, and then AC/DC fourth. That's how I would rate the Pillarmen. Erina this high up, does that make sense? I mean, that's how impactful Erina was to me. Like the way that she wiped off Dio's kiss, like I glazed Phantom Blood at Erina. And the way that she cried for Jonathan and she moved forward with the death of her husband, like she's a strong woman. I think Erina does deserve that glaze. Maybe Bruford over Erina though. Bruford was something else. I love that guy. This is it. The more I look at it, the more I realize I think they should be. Should Cars be in low peak tier? Justify why Cars deserves to get promoted up. Was Cars actually that peak though? Because like to me, I don't really feel a strong way about Cars. Like, he was the final antagonist. He was very strong. I didn't personally really vibe with him that much though. He was the ultimate creature. I kind of hated how he just kind of had no morals or ethics or any sense of principle. He just do whatever it takes. I would rate Dio higher than Cars. I think he's perfectly fine at the top of great. That's it. I think this is a decent enough tier list. And listen, if you're gonna get mad at some of the characters for where I placed them, just remember, right? Understand my logic. Some characters I feel like should have like higher contributions proportional to the expectations placed upon. And I think Lisa is the perfect example. I think this woman was glazed to the moon and there was so much precedence for her to be great, yet I see her contributions and what she actually did and doesn't really match it. And that mismatch is why I rate them way harder. Compared to some other characters like Dyer, right? Or some other characters where it's just like they're just funny, they're outgoing, they're hype, and they just... And you expect nothing, and they just have such an amazing moment that it's just like, I remember that, right? That's why I'm glazing some characters like Dyer like that. And at the end of the day, man, Stroheim, Wamu, these characters are fucking amazing. I love them. That's my part 1 and 2 tier list. See you next time.